Thanks for listening to our podcast, unMetered. As a member-owned, not-for-profit electric cooperative, our focus is on providing affordable, reliable, safe electricity and outstanding member service. One way that we're doing that is by providing more avenues of communication to you, our member. Through the podcast, we hope that you will be able to find some helpful hints, tips, and things to help you conserve energy, as well as some informational pieces that will help you understand what it means to be a member. Welcome to another episode of unMetered, brought to you by Middle Tennessee Electric. Of course, it's extremely excited to have everyone here. We've got Tim Suddoth in today, one of our energy services coordinators. But we're also thankful for all those that are listening. It's very, very rewarding to hear from everyone about the success we've had. We don't often mention that we've won an award for this podcast, and
nice.
Hopefully we'll get some more somewhere along the way to let people know how great Middle Tennessee Electric is. But before we get into the topic today, which is warm weather energy efficiency tips, just a quick reminder to everybody that Sharing Change is a fantastic program. I don't think are you a member on our system?
Not.
You're not? Okay.
No.
Well, Tim is not able to participate in Sharing Change in that I can round my bill up, but Tim can participate in Sharing Change Plus, which means that he can actually donate monthly through our PayPal account. You can go to sharingchange.org and sign up for that. But or if you're a member, you can sign up just by filling out the little section at the bottom right corner. Had to think there for a second of where that is. But in the bottom right-hand corner of your bill, you can actually sign up for it. You can also sign up by going to sharingchange.org or by giving us a call at 877-777-9020. It's also a great place to remind people about outage reporting. Again, Tim is not in that world. He is not the guy to call for outage reporting. No. But you can call 877-777-9111 or through the MyMTMC app, which we'll be talking about next week. Josh and I will be kind of talking about how we can use some of these tips that Tim has for us. And then don't forget about experiencemembership.coop. That's experiencemembership.coop, because that is where you may see some stuff that Tim is talking about today, which is some energy efficiency tips, along with some of the other benefits that we've got for you. So Tim, tell me, how long have you been here at Middle Tennessee Electric?
I have been here for just over a year. Okay. Started last February, and really enjoy working here and getting to meet all these great people and all of our wonderful members out there. It's been a good year.
Because as an energy services coordinator, you are on the front lines in terms of energy efficiency and really helping members out with that.
Yeah, we're kind of a group that spend one of the only, I guess, employees here at Middle Tennessee Electric that are constantly in front of our members and often going into their homes, which, a lot of our linemen and, other jobs here, they're not doing that, those kind of things. So, yeah, we're on the front lines, getting to interact with our members pretty regularly on a daily basis.
Now, what did you do before you came to Middle Tennessee Electric?
So before I was with Middle Tennessee Electric, worked with a local solar contractor out of Nashville, and had been in that industry for about 6 years. Went to school for building science, so this really kind of ties in more with what I studied and really kind of what my passion was. Love the solar industry. It's a great field to be in, but kind of wanted to be more involved with the entire building as a whole, not just one certain area of energy reduction. So this opportunity came up, and it's been it's been great so far, and really enjoy it.
Now, you mentioned that you're actually going out to members' homes. You're actually having an interaction with them, and we're going to talk a little bit about one of the services that you offer. One of the benefits, I guess, it's not. I don't necessarily think it's a service as much as it's a benefit to to being part of the membership. But one thing that we've had in the past is people will come out and they say, "Hey, we're from Middle Tennessee Electric, and we're here to check out your home." That is not us. You have to actually schedule an appointment with an energy services coordinator. Is that correct?
Yes. So, if you're experiencing a high bill, or you're curious on how to make your home more energy efficient, if you've just purchased the home, and it's maybe an older home that you don't really know where to start, you can contact us for an energy evaluation, and we can come out and take a look at several main areas of the home and kind of make recommendations, tips, give you ideas on maybe what you should tackle first.
Right. Yeah. So again, like I said, with these guys here, they do come out. They come out to the membership, and of course, you make an appointment with them. So be sure that if you're looking for some energy efficiency folks from Middle Tennessee Electric, that you do give us a call. How can they actually call to schedule a energy efficiency home audit with us?
Well, the best way to register or schedule one of these evaluations is through TVA's eScore program.
Okay.
This is www.2escore.com. And the reason I encourage people to schedule it through there, you can do your own self-audit before I come out, and that kind of gives you an idea of what we're going to be looking at while we're there. But this also lets you input certain data, name, phone number, email address, and that way we can call you. You can also call our 1877 number, which I don't have here, but the eScore, the website's just the easiest way to go about doing it, because when we come out and we do an eScore evaluation for you, it'll generate a report with pictures and tips and reminders. So that's the best way. You'll get that emailed to you at the end of the evaluation, and it's a good kind of reminder, reference point. You can print it out, you can save it on your computer. So that's, in my opinion, the easiest way.
So all that information that Tim's talking about there about how to schedule that up, you can also find it at mtmc.com/eScore, which does have the phone number that bypasses the queue for those that are just wanting to make a payment or report an outage or something like that. So mtmc.com/eScore. And of course, you can also schedule it super easy on escore.com.
The number two.
The number two. It's kind of a tricky thing there. So this evaluation that you're talking about, right now, there's a big benefit for members that's going on right now in April and in May. Normally, it's $75 to have this home evaluation done, but right now, y'all are offering it for much less than that.
Yeah, this winter was a pretty harsh winter on us from not just a temperature standpoint, but from an electric use standpoint. People were using a lot of electricity, so we came up with this idea to offer these evaluations while it's kind of on everybody's mind, and really give us an opportunity to come out and work with you to figure out what may be something you can do to help improve the efficiency. But this is going to be just for these next 2 months, and it'll be, like you said, originally $75. We'll come out for $25. We'll spend about an hour with you, maybe more or less, depending on the size of the home. But we'll take a look at things like your attic insulation, your duct work, your heating and cooling unit, windows and doors, and really just kind of give you an overall, where does my home stand? Where is it in the energy efficiency realm?
So if I had to give my home a rating, right? There's like a 10, like a 1 to 10. I feel like my home is probably in like a 2 or a 3. I don't know how many times you run into those. I mean, I've got an old home, extremely old home, but there's a lot of tips that we could do to actually improve my eScore, right? What are some of those tips that you would recommend? I mean, what is the most common energy efficiency that you see when you're doing these evaluations and you're out there, a member has called you up, said, hey, come out and take a look at this. They've scheduled an appointment through to escore.com and you come out there. What's one of the most common things that you see?
A lot of the homes I'm going into are older. Those are typically homes that, need some sort of upgrade, if you will. Air sealing is one of the major ones that is very common, very easy to overlook, but it's very easy to correct.
Right.
Your home is heated and cooled, and that air is trying to get out of the house. That's why we insulate it and put windows and caulking and things like that to keep that air in. So things like weather stripping around doors is something that are often chewed up by animals. And it's a couple bucks and a couple of minutes of your time, and you can get those doors with a more proper seal. Same with the attic pull downs. A lot of those attic pull downs are in a hallway, and usually your thermostat's located there in the hallway, and I see them with, little 1 inch or half-inch
Right.
gaps, and you can see into the attic.
So you're talking about that pull down door that has the
Correct.
ladder that folds down.
Yep.
That like every time you open it, you kind of want to duck.
Yeah,
Because you're afraid of what's going to come down with it. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Getting that's a door to the outside of the home.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't look at it like that, but typically it's a very thin piece of wood.
Right.
And it's not weather stripped, it's not insulated. So, all throughout the summer, especially now coming up, you've got, extremely hot air that's stuck in that attic. You might have a ridge vent or, some fans or some
Right.
ridge boxes up there, but I mean, when you go up in your attic in the summer, it's really hot.
And those ridge boxes, you're talking about, that's ventilation in the attic.
Right.
It's letting that hot air that's rising from your home out through the roof, right?
Yeah, and
Okay.
it can even just get in there through heat transfer through the shingles. It's just and that space is extremely hot. So when you pull your attic down, you're feeling that hot air,
Right.
And that can be happening on a daily basis. If that air can travel down and get into the home or into that hallway, it can cause your thermostat to turn on and cool your home more. And
Right.
we don't necessarily feel it on our skin. But it can be there, and that scenario where same in the wintertime, you got cold air, your heat's inside, it's trying to find its way out. So
Right.
you want to keep that conditioned air in any way you can. But builders,
Well, and most, and you're talking about the keeping that air in. I mean, there is some level of, you want a little bit of air to go out just from a safety standpoint. So, mildew and mold and those types of things.
Sure.
But there's a point where it gets too far.
right.
And like you're talking about the caulking, I feel like when we communicate energy efficiency tips, I feel like we hit the same. There are several that we hit because they're so easy and they're relatively inexpensive to do. Caulking around your windows and doors, you're talking about,
Yep.
the air filter and those other little pieces and parts. But I mean, what are 3 easy things that a member can do?
You mentioned just a second ago air filters. That's, you want your unit to be able to breathe, and changing those out regularly is imperative. Another area that I see a lot of issues with is your water heater. Those are generally located in a garage,
Yep.
maybe in a crawl space.
You're literally describing my water heater right now.
Yeah. I see them underneath homes sometimes, and in the winter your garage is super cold, and that's a big water heater. And usually there's a copper line coming out the top.
Yep.
And it's probably got 120-degree water in it. So it's just emitting that it's losing heat through
Right.
that pipe into the cold air in the garage. So this can be done. I did my water heater for about $3.80. I got 8 feet of 3/4 inch pipe insulation. You
Okay.
cut it with a pair of scissors. I had about 6 feet too much. So, it's very affordable. So that's an easy one to do. Changing your air filter, getting your units tuned
Right.
up. They just went through a brutal winter where they have worked harder than they ever have in their short lifespan. So it's probably a good idea to get that unit tuned up, have a technician come out, make sure it's okay after that brutal winter. But yeah, those are 3 easy things. And tune-ups, they're usually not very expensive. And, it's kind of like a car. You need to get your oil changed every now and then. You need to get your tires rotated and balanced. And it's very similar with your heating and cooling system. You got to stay on top of that.
Got to keep things running smooth. Right?
Yeah.
Now this is not like, beforehand I told you kind of what the questions were, and I just thought of this one. I bet you can answer it because as one of our energy services coordinators, I mean, you're in this stuff every single day. But say, for instance, the member does not want to spend any money on an energy efficiency thing. So they don't want to spend money on caulk or weather sealing. They don't want to do a tune-up or buy a $2 air filter.
Right.
What are some easy things? Or maybe they're a renter, for instance. We have a lot of renters that, again, these are not things that they're going to be doing to their own homes. What are some things that someone who does not have access to or have the interest in doing those, what are some things that they could do to help themselves out?
I think the easiest thing would be, knowing your thermostat. How does it work? You can do some research online for free, look up your model number, take tips and ideas from Middle Tennessee Electric or your heating and cooling contractor, and just really become familiar with how that's working. A lot of them are programmable now, so they have settings on them. So if you're at work all day, you may be able to reduce its usage. So you're not cooling the home.
I guess you're referring to like a Nest or some other type of advanced thermostat that can go up and down, or is this something that's a programmable thermostat? Is it something easier than that?
Most thermostats out there now have some degree of programming.
Okay.
A Nest I would consider a smart thermostat.
I shouldn't tell you that I have a Mercury thermostat on my air conditioner.
Some people still do.
I have the original, like where you dial it in and you don't know if you're at 72 or 75. It's kind of a wiggle room there.
Yeah, even on something older like that, just become familiar with it.
Okay.
And you don't have to make any changes there in terms of money.
Mm-hmm.
You can cut it down a couple degrees or and that may help, or turn it up a couple degrees so it's not cooling as much. Those are things you may be able to do without having to spend any money because it's already there and installed.
Right.
You might be a little warm for the first hour when you get home or two, but slowly turn it on and kind of get that house at a temperature that you like.
Yeah. What temperature would you recommend if someone was like, well, for me, comfortable is AC running at 70, that, or right now with the swing in temperatures that we're getting right now, more or comfortable to me is, 70 on heat. What would be the recommended temperature you'd tell somebody to put for their AC?
Well, that's going to vary, as you mentioned. I would say, as high as you're comfortable with.
Okay.
It's your home. You're going to want to be comfortable in it. We recommend in the 78, air temperature range.
Sure.
But, some people are more hot-natured or cold-natured, and it just kind of all comes down to that.
To that comfort level there.
Yeah.
Well, tell me, what is one piece of advice as an overarching thing about energy efficiency? What is the one thing that you would tell members about energy efficiency?
I would say you got to start somewhere.
Right.
So start with a plan, and kind of look at your home and, if you notice things are starting to get older, like appliances or your windows or your heating and cooling system, try to come up with a plan to say, hey, in the next year or two, I want to do this. And, in the next 5 years, I want to do that. And, you can kind of start working on, you can start with the small stuff like weather stripping and pipe insulation and caulking. Those are things that you can do pretty easily. Right. Attic insulation is another thing that, I don't see enough of in people's homes. They have it.
Yeah,
but
I've got the old school kind where it's like the pink and it's fluffy.
Yeah.
Is that, I mean, like it's one of those things where I've heard of foam. I've heard of, there's a couple other things that have now been rolled out that are more efficient. But you're saying that really you need to start, if you have the ability to start small, start small. If you have the ability to start big, do something big. But again, it's about being intentional with the decisions you make.
Right. And, insulation is one of those things it's not going to cost you thousands upon thousands of dollars to upgrade that. You''ve already got probably 6 to 7 inches, maybe 8 in your home already. So we want to bring that up to 14 inches. And a lot of the insulation I see is the blown-in insulation, like you're describing. So a lot of contractors will come in and just blow right on top of that, and you can be done with it. But it's something that's not very expensive, but is lacking in a lot of homes that I go into.
Well, like I said, it sounds like warm weather tips. We could probably talk about this all day.
Right.
It's one of those things that everyone is interested in, especially right. They may not be interested in it right now, but when they they'll tune in and listen to this when they go to mtmc.com to go to our podcast page, and they'll listen to these things, because what I see is I get to see the statistics and the information you're giving to us today. It gets cycled. It literally does. Right now we're doing warm weather. We'll probably, when cold weather rolls around, we'll have another energy services coordinator come back out, because we actually have 3 of them. Four of them. 4 of them now. Yeah, we have 4 now, which is exciting. And so it just is a testament to the program and how well it's going over. And so for members, if you've got a question about your energy efficiency, you can actually go to mtmc.com/energy efficiency tips, and you'll get a list of everything we've got about energy efficiency online. You can also find more every single week on our social media pages. Excuse me, I kind of having a problem talking this afternoon, but you can check it out on our social media pages. You can get it on our podcast. You can also get it in our Tennessee magazine. So when it comes to energy efficiency, we want you to use less money. Energy, both. I don't know.
Both.
I guess we, again,
Less energy equals less money.
less energy. Exactly. There it is. So again, we want to thank Tim Suddoth for coming in here, and one of our newest energy services coordinators. And we'll be talking with him and with his with his fellow energy service coordinators here in the coming weeks. But again, don't forget to go to Sharing Change and sign up, sharingchange.org. Also, if you've not downloaded MyMTMC, we're talking about that next week, about how we can use these tips that Tim was
very helpful
telling us about how to see your actual energy usage, and how when you set your thermostat up 2 or 3 degrees, you can actually save yourself a much more large amount of, not a large amount of money, but a significant amount of consumption on your monthly bill. And don't forget, experiencemembership.coop. That's another great resource for our members to find our benefits. Yep. And speaking of benefits, what was the benefit that we had today for them about the home energy evaluations?
$25.
$25. You can have
$25.
a energy services coordinator come out to your home, inspect your home, spend about an hour with you, and give you some tips and ideas, and just some general ways to improve your energy efficiency.
Yeah, getting a path, getting a vision started. You know,
Exactly.
it's all got to start somewhere, and we're here to help you guys do that, and we'd love to have the opportunity to do that.
Well, thank you, Tim. And
you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
We look forward to seeing you again sometime soon.
Sounds good.
See you.
unMetered is brought to you by Middle Tennessee Electric.